Good morning, happy Friday, and welcome to Sunrise Small Talk, episode number 64. Behind me, I have a chart that I reference quite a bit. What this chart shows is from my friends over at First Trust. What it shows is crises and events, and it goes back to 1970. And I think this is important right now because obviously there's a lot of chaos going on in the market. I'm going to point out, I don't know, 4 or 5 events here, and then at the end, I'm going to zoom out and then that way you can pause your screen and take a look at all these events because I think it's kind of fun, funny, cool, interesting to look through. So number one, let's see. I am going to go to Black Monday. I've never used a marker on the TV and I hope it doesn't ruin it, but this is actually pretty cool. That looks pretty good. It makes me want to get one of those smart whiteboards, but they're like $3,000, so not happening. Black Monday, the market dropped, I don't know the numbers, like 30% that day in one day. And sure enough, this looks like the world is ending, but we recover. Let's go down to 9/11. Same thing, September 11th, 2001. We had a huge drop after the terrorist attacks, and then a little bit of an increase there. And then after that, we had the tech crisis. I guess I should have circled that first. The tech crisis hit before 9/11, but then that's when the fallout came from the tech bubble and its collapse. Let's go down several years here. We had Hurricane Katrina. Remember that one? That was, I want to say, September of 2005. Gas prices spiked. We had a huge dip in the market, and I think it's funny to say huge because when you look at it over the course of time, that is not huge. You can barely even see that it went down. Let's go to one more recent history. Actually, Lehman Brothers files for bankruptcy. That was in the midst of the 2008 crash. So obviously that's a pretty important one to highlight there. Major crash there. This was our 2008 global financial crisis there. And then, it was like 2010 before we recovered. So it did take some time. And in the midst of that, of course, in the midst of all of these, it's different this time. Famous 4-letter phrase, and the world is ending. You hear that. It's always different this time, but that's a dangerous phrase to say and think. Let's go down a few. We've got Boston Marathon bombing, and then of course, very recent history. Well, 5 years ago, I guess now, but COVID. Remember that? Remember COVID? The market was. That was the worst stretch of market fluctuation in history, in my opinion, because we had 1929, we had 1987. Those were major down days, but COVID was just nuts. The market would be down 2,000 one day, up 2,000 the next, down 3, up 1,000. It was just completely chaotic. And at the time, it was like, oh my gosh, we're going to lose all our money. The market's never going to come back. But look at how irrelevant that became over the course of time. Just a tiny little blip. And now here we are. Trump signs executive order in 2025 to implement tariffs. This is just a great chart that gives really good perspective on being patient, not making irrational decisions, and riding out the ups and downs. So I'm going to zoom out now so you can take a peek at that. I think it's fun to go through. There you go.